The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
And they got sick of lugging shit around or something. I don't know what it was. But
did you ever see Lenny with Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah, he
It's
was
fucking
great
great.
in that.
I mean, he really came off like a comic. He
Yeah.
really seemed like he was Lenny Bruce.
No, he's an incredible actor. You know,
Yeah.
I actually went down a rabbit hole looking up a bunch of shit about him. And, oh no, it wasn't that. I don't even know how I went down this rabbit hole, but there's these fucking, talk about like before 9/11, like what you could do and then still walk around a free man like 18 months later was crazy. Like these people on the Upper East Side, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. This really radicalized time, like the 60s, early 70s. I don't know what somewhere around that time, these people were making a bomb.
What?
Yeah, and like these rich kids or some shit, because it was like in a townhouse on the Upper East Side. And Dustin Hoffman had one on that block, close enough to it. And, you know, these fucking idiots blew themselves up, blew the fucking building up, and fucked with his townhouse. And there's a picture of him, if you can find it, is he grabbed some piece of expensive art that he had bought, got it out of his house, and it's a picture of a young Dustin Hoffman walking up the street.
Look at that.
Yeah. This poor guy, like, had the balls to go after a dream. You know, you think it's hard making it as a comic. I don't even know how the fuck he made it as an actor. Now, forget about then. Yeah, look at it. Blew up their whole fucking thing. And he's like, I made it. I'm on the Upper East Side.
Oh,
everything's great. And then
Look
these...
at that fucking, the building's missing.
Yes.
Oh
So
my
he owns
God.
something close enough to that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's crazy. It's like all the building to the left's fine, building to the right's fine, and that building's obliterated.
Yeah, I'm sure that there was some damage done
for
to those
sure.
other ones. So,
But it's crazy how the one in the middle is just missing.
no, but if you look it up, like the jail time that they got, well, I mean, you know, obviously the person who was down there, the people down there died, I think. But then they figured out who was in cahoots with them. But also their parents owned a townhouse on the Upper East Side.
Oh, so they probably...
Listen, Jimmy's been a little, you know, distant. Your Honor, you know, they go to the same fucking party.
Yeah, you could get away with shit before the internet. They passed around some cash. Do you ever see a documentary?
Yeah, that chick who shot fucking Andy Warhol barely did any fucking time, and then years
Really?
later, how he died. I always thought he drugged himself for just doing drugs or partying, but I think it was complications from
the bullet wound.
Yeah, when you get like shot. Like I also think you get when
organ damage.
Well, when you get shot in the gut too, that's like the fucking worst, because all that shit that breaks down your food seeps in, like the infections and the shit that happens. Oh yeah, it's horrific.
What did
Fucking
she
horrific.
shoot him for?
I don't know. I'm not saying anybody was a great fucking person here, but that's never a solution. But the jail time that person got was ridiculously short. And then he's got to live the rest of his life dealing with the fallout of what that person did to him. And then also knowing that crazy chick is out there.
Well, isn't the guy who shot Reagan out now?
No. I think they were going to let him out. And he was like, no, guys, no, you don't want to do that. I think he said that.
I thought they let him out.
My memory isn't the greatest. I'm probably combining all three of these stories, and it's actually about...
He's out?
Well, I mean, just the quick wiki says he's released. So
what's his name again? John
Hinckley.
Hinckley, yeah.
You should look up everything I say. Actually, Bill, it's completely the other direction.
Do you ever watch a documentary on the Weathermen? Do you remember the Weathermen?
No.
The Weathermen were a radical terrorist group from the 60s.
Oh, I thought it was like some Ron Burgundy shit. Okay.
60s or 70s?
That's what that Greenwich bombing has something to do with that. There's like a group called like the SDS, the Students of Democratic Society, which was an offshoot of the Weathermen. I'm just looking through the Wikipedia of this
Were
story.
they radicalized rich white kids?
Maybe.
Well, one of the guys who was one of the Weathermen went on to become a professor at a university in Chicago, and that was one of the things that they were talking about when Obama was running for president. He's friends with a terrorist because he knew this guy from his university days.
All right.
Because
wasn't that like the idea in Fight Club that the Project Mayhem, something like that? You know what I'm talking about? That's the same sort of idea where they just wanted to fuck up all sorts of different things in society and not troll people, but like bomb shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. We should have asked Chuck when he was in here. But the Weathermen, anyway, the documentary is crazy. They wanted to take down society, and they wanted to take down the government. So they were doing acid and having orgies and showing up to places and blowing things up.
And there was no like, so then we can rebuild it. It was just like, let's just fuck it up.
I mean, I think there's a lot of anarchists, a lot of people in their youth where they want to just tear the whole fucking thing down. You know, I was having a conversation with my wife about this. Really interesting. Just the other day, we were out at dinner, and she was like, when she was young, she had a rough childhood, and she was hoping that society would fall apart because her life was a mess, and other people's lives were great. And she had this thing in her head, like she hoped society crumbled, because then everything would be fucked all over the world. No one would be okay because her life wasn't okay. And I'm like, that's really interesting. Yeah, really interesting because her insight, the way she was talking about it, was like, because she was remembering that very specifically when she was young, you know, chaotic.
That's why that Tarantino movie's so like funny to me.
I loved it.
I don't think they ever say hippie without saying fucking in it. Everybody goes, fucking hippies.